Aging is inevitable, but accelerated aging, the kind where your joints start arguing with you, your memory walks out mid-sentence, and your cells start behaving like exhausted interns, isn't always a given. One of the biggest culprits behind this cellular sabotage? A slow, smoldering internal rebellion known as chronic inflammation, or as scientists have cleverly dubbed it, inflammaging. It sounds like a bad metal band, but it's actually one of the most important drivers of why we age the way we do, and more importantly, why some people seem to age like leather boots left out in the rain while others keep glowing into their 90s like well-oiled lighthouses. Inflammaging isn't your typical "I stubbed my toe" inflammation. It's low-grade, systemic, and often goes unnoticed, like a roommate who slowly trashes the apartment over years instead of setting it on fire all at once. Your immune system, designed to protect and repair, stays stuck in a semi-alert state, releasing pro-inflammatory molecules that quietly wreak havoc on everything from your arteries and brain to your muscles and mitochondria. Over time, this leads to increased risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, frailty, and even biological aging itself. Because yes, your DNA has opinions about your lifestyle, and they're not always polite. But here's where omega-3 fatty acids come in, like molecular firefighters armed with water hoses, calming words, and possibly a protein shake. Omega-3s, specifically EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, are like the peacekeepers of your cellular society. When inflammation gets out of hand, they don't just suppress it like a brute force drug might, they resolve it. Literally. EPA and DHA are precursors to resolvins and protectins, special lipid mediators that help cells return to a calm, balanced state after the immune system has done its job. Think of them as conflict mediators for your immune system, gently suggesting that everyone go home and hydrate. But omega-3s don't stop there. They also help downregulate NF-B, a molecular drama queen responsible for turning on a whole suite of inflammatory genes. They also help preserve telomeres, those little protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes that shrink with stress, age, and, you guessed it, inflammation. In fact, higher blood levels of omega-3s have been linked to longer telomeres in several studies, which is kind of like finding out your fish oil capsule has a tiny magic wand inside. Meanwhile, omega-3s also reduce the production of cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha, the main instigators of the inflammaging circus. These molecules are basically the inflammatory hype crew, and omega-3s are here to quietly show them the door. That's especially important in older adults, whose immune systems tend to swing wildly between underreacting to real threats, like viruses, and overreacting to harmless ones, like breakfast. Getting inflammation under control isn't just about avoiding disease, it's about preserving resilience, allowing your body to bounce back from life's bumps instead of slowly unraveling like a sock in a dryer. And here's the best part. Omega-3s do all this without asking you to sacrifice flavor or fun. You can get them from fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, or from high-quality supplements in fish, krill, or algae form. They're one of the few nutrients with broad support from the medical, nutritional, and longevity communities, mostly because they've been studied to death and consistently deliver. Even conservative health organizations now recommend daily intake for brain health, heart function, and yes, slowing the burn of inflammaging. So if you're trying to age more gracefully, stay sharp, and keep your joints from staging a protest, omega-3s are a low-risk, high-reward addition to your daily defense strategy. They won't make you immortal, but they might just help you feel a little more superhuman as you walk calmly and less inflamed into your later years. And let's be honest, if your cells could write a thank you note, they'd probably say, "Dear EPA and DHA, thanks for putting out the fires. We were getting crispy."